Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today's guest is someone who truly embodies vision, resilience, and reinvention. A multi-passionate creator who questioned the rules, trusted his own path, and began redefining what a dream life can look like. It's a joy to welcome Dominykas, a speaker, creator, coach, and innovator. His story weaves together the worlds of gaming, data, culture, and coaching into a powerful journey of conscious choice and self-belief. From a childhood love of languages and gaming to the reality of working in tech and choosing a life aligned with freedom and creativity, he has shown that following your own truth often means stepping into the unknown. With courage and clarity, he's built a new path, becoming a certified life coach, growing a career in data engineering, and developing his own video game project. From a powerful speaking moment in Paris to deeply personal breakthroughs, his journey reminds us you do not need to wait for the life you want. You can start building it now. So for the dreamers ready to become the doers, and for anyone feeling called to do more, this conversation is for you, and I am definitely listening myself. So without further ado, let's welcome this incredible person to hear all about his transformational journey that will continue to keep growing, and how he made it happen. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's such a great pleasure.
You're so welcome. So, one thing that really strikes me the most with your journey is conscious choice and living intentionally. So, I'd love to know your take on that.
Living intentionally, well, for one, it starts with having an intention to begin with. Meaning, what is it that I would love this day to be like, this week, ultimately the whole life? And this intention, as long as it becomes something that you're truly, and deeply connected emotionally, then can this intention become something long-lasting that spans years, decades, even until the end of this earthly life. And as it becomes so, it is then up to us to serve it through our daily action. As simple as it sounds, yet sometimes perhaps not as easy to follow through.
Yeah. Wow. So much already in that. I agree. And I really loved how you just stripped it right back. Instead of just, again, yes, the mission, the purpose, the focus, everyone, all guns blazing ahead. I love that you just said, well, what's your intention for today? What are you consciously creating today? Or even in this moment right now? Because I think we can all almost be these different versions. And it's like thinking actually back to your gaming, a character in a game of, I'm going to be this version, and this version has this skills and this mindset. And actually, let's just stop a second, because this is my personal take, and I would love yours on it. Living intentionally is actually how, in those small moments, can you still be in full alignment with the true embodiment of you? Okay, yes, how maybe you might speak on a stage or in a boardroom. Yeah, you're not going to be at the kitchen table or, with your family, like, right, option number one, you are going to be slightly different. But also, I don't believe that we should have these different hats or masks or characters essentially.
Mhm.
Just strip it back. Who are you? What are you embodying and what are you becoming? So I would love your take on that.
Well, for one, guess you'll agree that the most successful people in anything, part of their success is being authentic, especially content creators, podcasters, coaches, and so on. Part of their success is being authentic, and more specifically, through it connecting with their audiences, who in turn resonate with
Yeah.
whatever whatever they're being authentic about, and this then transcends, uh, encompasses pretty much all aspects of life, be it out there in the boardrooms delivering presentations, and just as much they're in the kitchen doing the dishes, hoovering the rooms, and so on. It becomes once again various expressions, but nonetheless expressions of the same authentic you.
Mm.
And when we're able to do that consistently, then we end up truly in alignment, end up truly happy with uh, you know with what it is we're doing, even if at the same time we recognize that there is still much more out there for us that not only we'd love to, but but likewise we're also determined to create.
Amazing. I just actually really want to compliment you on you have this really calming presence that so I'm really intrigued about your talk in Paris because um I don't believe in this like external of how we look anyway, and like from being in teaching, I realized that we place an expectation on someone's age or someone's mentality, even a 3-year old in early years. We raise that bar and we have that expectation, and we have that freedom and allowance to allow people to show up and express themselves. There is a reason for me sharing this. That's
Mhm.
when true transformation happens. And regardless, I don't know your age or anything, but you look very youthful. But the
Thanks.
way you speak and deliver your message, yeah, I feel people are listening. People want to hear it because you have, regardless of whether we are 70 or we are 17, it does not matter. It's the fact that, which is why I'm so happy you're on this podcast, that you didn't only take your passion, you creatively, and I think this is a big thing people miss, particularly in business and etc.
Mhm.
I think creativity is so much more than the definition of it, because actually, in you taking your passion and turning it into a purpose,
Mhm.
this is creativity. It's looking, okay, you know what? I enjoy this. I like this a lot. How can I be in alignment with me, but be of more service, and think into what do other people need? Because essentially, more than just people buying people, which is what you touched on, I believe,
Mhm.
which is the authenticity of how people are authentic, because you just feel it. You feel it when someone is just them in their alignment, in their self-expression. So more than people buying people, we also, we're not just going to invest in someone just because we like them. We also
Yeah,
need
absolutely.
to find the key. So I would love for you to just really strip that back. Other than it just being your passion, at what moment did you see, ah, I can see something in this and I can make something happen with this.
Well, the passion, since it encompasses multiple things, video games, personal development, more specifically coaching. It has come at, different parts of it have come at different times. When it comes to the video games, that I was sure of, as far as adolescence, that, oh, well, for one, obviously, I like the video games themselves, even earlier than that, as far as childhood. Later on, yeah, figured that I would love to turn that into a career. Well, when it comes to life coaching, it was after I myself had signed up at first for a self-development program, not to become a coach then, but just to study a system of success. That would allow me to create, when applied, obviously, a life of of my ideals.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then it becomes especially in terms of life coaching, this idea that sure, I would love the, as I like to call them, the earthly perks of being a business owner, such as much higher income potential, much more flexible working hours, etc. But much more than that, it's co-creating an ideal world in essence, since many of the things that I would love to be better, that though I myself am not interested personally to do them, such as architecture, cooking, perhaps even writing books. But many people are interested in those, not just interested, but actually in love with those ideas enough to actually dedicate their lives to them. And if they're also willing to be coached in the service of those pursuits, then all the better. I would love to be a part of that in that sense. And yeah, this so in essence, it becomes all these various motivations and factors over time. They come together, in various combinations, and thus they express themselves as the passion I have in my heart nowadays. The video games and personal development, more specifically life coaching, going hand in hand. And thus, in essence, not only expressing myself through them, but also leaving a legacy through them.
Yeah, beautiful. And what I really love that you touched on is, if we all wanted to write a book, we all wanted, and we were all interested in the same things, then, the whole beautiful thing is we're all different. And like what you said, it's like you can see what that person, maybe the key, the gem, the unlocking that person needs to get to the next level, which is ironic. It kind of goes back to the game again, maybe that mindset. And I think that's beautiful that, we don't all have the same dreams, the same desires, the same goals, but that's what makes everything almost like a jigsaw puzzle fit together so beautifully. So I love that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And thinking about that, let's run with that actually. Let's be creative and playful for a little bit. So how has your problem solving essentially and your navigation and your gameplay actually played an impact now in life coaching and finding solutions and unlocking those next levels for people.
Well, part of it I've noticed for myself is that game development and more specifically programming, which I've been doing pretty much half of my life by now. Is it that in programming it becomes very much of very explicitly defining how the end product, the program, whatever works. And I've noticed that also in terms of life coaching, in terms of self-development in general, there's a thing called visioneering, meaning creating an image, a vision, a blueprint of, for example, what your ideal life would look like. And in that sense, it also becomes a point of defining it as explicitly as you're able. For example, the life that you can absolutely love, and yeah, more specifically, for example, also things such as defining it in positives. That is, I'm doing this, I have this, etc. Yeah, and as when it comes to more towards problem solving, it also the self how I was trained in self-development is that you shall we say think outside the box, meaning you open yourself up with first posing the question of as question that's as specific to your to a problem as it is as it can be. For example, what could I do this week to shall we say generate $10,000? What could I do with this week to that effect? And you start sourcing ideas, opening yourself up to all the various ways, all the various things that you could do in this time frame. Opening yourself up to the up until then unorthodox ideas, and this also becomes something that is prevalent, that's present to some degree in, for example, certainly game development, game design, as well as just ordinary, shall we say, programming. It's also being opening yourself up to various solutions, to various ways of doing the same thing, some of them that could possibly serve you better given the circumstances. So yeah, it's also various both fields also I've noticed have some similarities both in problem, shall we say, defining as well as problem solving.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for mentioning that, because I think what I really loved that you mentioned was that there's multiple sometimes solutions. And I think this is super important to remember, because when we're navigating change and trusting the unknown, and like what you said, if we almost have like, okay, this is the end goal and this is what I'm going to do to get to that end goal. And then all of a sudden, hold on, why has it not happened? I think this is why it's super important, like what you said, to really be open and trusting and navigating the change. And I always like to think, even though in the moment, not always, just to like to think that maybe, just maybe, it's because something even better is about to be revealed. So it's all it's all the reframing, it's all the narratives we tell ourselves. So just in regards to that, what's your take on at those times, because I'm sure that you definitely went through it with your own journey of
Mhm.
navigating the change and trusting the unknown when maybe like a video game, it's not quite you're not quite getting to that next level that you expected now, and so maybe willingly realized, like, thought that, well, it should have happened by now. Why has it not happened? Because I know how to get there. So what would your take be on that?
Yes, as we like to call it, say it after defining our visions,
Yeah.
this or something even greater still. Meaning that yes, we open ourselves up in this case, not just to multiple ways of accomplishing, but actually of multiple outcomes. With the assumption that they're all go that they're all, all could be just as great, if not greater than what we originally came up with. And likewise, when it comes to navigating change, sure, yes, it's usual to notice this rattle, notice uncertainty, unease, perhaps. When things, for example, don't just transpire otherwise than you might have imagined or preferred, but all yeah, perhaps even taking a turn for what would seem the worst.
Mm.
However, once again, it's kind of like one of the lectures that my mentor Mary Morrissey has went to said, "Nothing is bad until you make it bad," meaning that
Mm.
this undesirable and perhaps unexpected. And that's what it's actually is. Undesirable, perhaps unexpected. Turn of events. What if it? What if it was actually a sign of something even better
Mm.
coming into fruition? So, for example, even myself having noticed certain unease about how certain now technologies nowadays might be progressing. Well, what they might become even now are becoming capable of. I figured, well, what if this is actually a great sign? What if it's actually for them, for the better, actually much better.
Mm.
In my case, what if all those developments, such as what is branded as artificial intelligence, oftentimes, what if that was was a tool to support me in achieving my dreams even faster. Thus,
Yeah.
yeah, which with much less energy expended.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It goes back to, again, it's all about perspective, isn't it? I love that you mentioned that, by the way. Nothing's bad until you label it or make it bad. So that's truth, If it's almost like our beautiful mind is so used to problem solving that, if we're going to think of something as a problem, then it's going to want to find the solution to the problem. Whereas, if we're wanting to find evidence of the good of it, then it's going to find a solution for the good. It's ultimately the same, but the result is very different. So, thank you so much for sharing that. So, in those times, are there any particular, other than obviously the reframing and keeping your mindset really strong, do you have any practical tools? Like, is there anything you particularly do, yeah, implement into your life that really support you in your journey?
Well, one of the practices that we're also trained in is what we like to call the brave thinking breath, and that in essence means just taking a pause and breathing into the nose and blowing out exhaling through your mouth, sort of like through a straw. That's obviously slower, and that helps at first not just to calm down, but also it becomes an opportunity to once again reframe reframe the situation, more than not just that, but also reaffirm a more empowering way of looking at it. For example, this is just what it looks like while it's all coming together. For example, one of the things to respond by. And yeah, this also a variation of it could be a rectangular breath, meaning that you just inhale for say 6 seconds, exhale in for 4 seconds, something like that. Again, yeah, various, for example, yeah, some breathing techniques that can help you to ground yourself in the moment and take a more empowering look at what you're noticing.
Amazing. Yeah, very, very good. I agree. Um, pausing was transformational in my life. Because, um, particularly from a background that was quite noisy and you almost had to fight to be heard. Um, to then be like, what do you mean? I need to take a moment and be quiet. I really felt uncomfortable in the quiet, but there's um there's transformation in the quiet, I believe. And I think also it goes back to us. I think now when I think back to having to always speak or have the last word, it was almost like a fight or flight of like,
Mm.
um, I have to stand up for me and I have to stop. Who are you proving this to? Who do you need to do this for? So there's actually, I think, yeah, there's real strength in those moments when something maybe is coming at you to actually be the one to almost diffuse it and take a moment and just be like, do you know, right now I'm not gonna react, and I'm going to really stay calm. I'm going to stay in my own energy, and I'm going to just allow this to just slowly unfold or fizzle out, whatever it is. Or even when you're thinking about the idea, it's multiple situations and
Mhm.
places we can apply this to. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, it's been a pleasure. So, and for anyone listening, I know there's so much that you did. First of all, before you share how people can contact you, did the opportunity to speak in Paris come to you, or did you actively seek it?
Yes, it came to me.
Amazing, amazing. And regardless of what the answer would have been, because actually I think both are just as powerful in allowing and receiving, and also aligning and going for what you believe in and what you want to
Mhm.
achieve. Um, so, with that in mind, how would you say public speaking? Because I feel like there's something that might be listening right now. Public speaking plays a key part in really putting yourself out there and sharing your message.
Well, for one to take on public speaking, it becomes the point of once again opening yourself up to express to others. Perhaps certainly at first, in spite of more noticeable fears of being criticized, rejected, etc.
Hmm.
It once again, yes, means that to some extent you're opening yourself up. You're becoming to some degree vulnerable, and yes, and this is something that anyone as a speaker is granted an opportunity to transcend. But however, when you're able to do so, when you're able to authentically express yourself, with full confidence, however your audience might react, that ultimately afterwards, I believe that that you're going to feel uh, grounded. That is, you're going to feel happy with yourself that you've put yourself out there, regardless of what becomes the response of your audience.
Amazing. I love that. And I think like if in person in front of an audience is too much of a step, then there's opportunities like this, or there's opportunities of
Yes.
uploading a video, or there's so just going back to that beautiful problem solving, which is why I think, what you're doing right now, which is I know is only one layer of what you're doing, which is the life coaching. I think sometimes we in our mind have very like linear thoughts, and it's so important to open ourselves up, which is why I believe having not just a coach but a mentor is important to really, like what you said, think outside the box and see alternative routes and ideas and things we can take action on today, because yeah, like I sometimes think we go straight to the what we think is the like ultimate goal, and sometimes we just need to strip it back a little bit and just think, okay, that might not feel good in my body right now, that big step, but what could I do right now, which is maybe just a little step, a little bit more towards where I'm heading. So I love that so much. Thank you. And with that in mind, how can people contact you to reach out to you and all the incredible things that you're creating and doing?
Well, mostly they can reach out to me via LinkedIn as well as email. I do, however, do also run in essence, vision workshops, meaning online webinars that are one of the opportunities to begin working with me even closer. And yes, on another note, since I'm also a game developer, there are also other ways of contacting me when it comes more in regards to that. So, for example, one of the ways to do so is Discord, through our Discord group. That's more geared towards the players of the game. So yes,
Amazing.
depending on the context, there are various ways to reach out to me.
Absolutely. And I think, again, thinking outside the box, if you are interested in gaming and you want a coach, hello. This is an incredible opportunity. So thank you so much, and I'll put all of that, I'm sure you've shared all that with me, and if you haven't, I will reach out and get all the details and
All
put
right.
them in the notes for everybody. And one last thing that I just love my guests to do is just off the top of the head, if there was something you feel like someone right now would really need to hear, what would you tell them?
Hmm. Well, one of the things that at least as I've been in this journey for a while now, what I've noticed for myself is since I already know for myself what I would love my life to be like, if if you did not know, then yes, perhaps. But before doing this, before doing what I'm going to describe as, you first, get as clear as you can on what you would want your life to be like. But let's imagine that you already know what you want. So that when you do, what I would, encourage others just as much as myself personally is once again in the daily, everyday moments to, as we like to say, come from the vision. That is, take on as as much as you're able the energy, the thoughts, feelings, and whenever possible actions of the person who is living your ideal life. Since at any given point in time, there's at least a thought that you could take on that's in alignment with the life that you would absolutely love.
Amazing. And what came to my mind as you were saying that is really infusing yourself with those people around you in your network, even if you're watching their life or what they're doing, because success leaves clues.
Absolutely.
So so thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You're so welcome. And yeah, it's been a great pleasure, and I'm excited to see what continues to evolve for you. And thank you so much for showing up. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of people, particularly not necessarily, but the younger generation that will be very inspired by you and your actual willingness to put yourself out there and make it happen, basically. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks.